This is an audio and video about the muster on the eastern shore of Virginia in 1624-25. In the 1625 census, of the 50 European settlers on the shore at that time, I was able to tie more than half back to three communities: Ashford in Kent, Gloucester, and Derbyshire. And all three of those, there were significant connections to Governor Thomas Dale. And that makes sense, because the land on which the colony was located originally had been called Dale's Gift, gifted to him in 1616 by the Virginia Company. And there at that location, the senior commander was Captain William Epps. Margaret Epps and his brother Peter Epps were with him, and probably his uncle or cousin John Fisher, and they were from Ashford and Kent. In fact, I was able to tie maybe as many as a third of the people in that colony back to Ashton. Here's just an example. Bloor and Paramore and Roper, they all have kinships to the Nicholas Tufton, Earl of Thanet. And Thanet was a sponsor that paid for William Epps to first go to Virginia to look after his investments. My interest was in John Baker, who was in that 1624 and 1625 census at the company plantation. And he most likely is a cousin to William Epps. Baker disappears in 1628, drops off the scene. When William Epps leaves and goes to St. Kitts, I suspect he went with him. Baker reappears in 1632, but this time with Francis Epps, the younger brother of William, and the commander on the across the bay in the James River. John Baker's first wife was Alice, probably Alice Epps. His third wife was the daughter of John Harris, Shirley Hundred, which was right across where Baker was located. And his second wife was the granddaughter of Edward Palmer, the fantastically wealthy fur trapper from the upper part of the Chesapeake Bay. Edward Palmer named Giles Overbury in his will in 1624, and sure enough, Giles Overbury tied back to the Shirley family and the Throckmorton family. And ties back to Governor Dale. Baker was also involved with Captain William Pierce, who was a buccaneer and trader across the Caribbean and New England. Baker was a captain of the Elizabeth from 1629-32 in this period that we were looking for him. He was involved in raiding the French fur trappers in Canada. So Baker was quite the quite the person. Charles Hamar was the overseer of Lady Dale's land after Dale died, and he was actually from Gloucester, and very near the Throckmorton family, which her father's house. Captain Thomas Graves followed Epps as a commander, first in Smith Hundred across the river, and then across the bay, and then secondly on the eastern shore. Graves was from Beeley in Derbyshire, and come find out he's also very near William Burdett, or Thomas Burdett actually, and the Dale properties that I studied. Thomas Savage was from the same area. And Savages and Dales tied back for over 100 years. Ensign Thomas Savage tied to the Strelleys and the Bainhams, and that was the brother-in-law of Governor Dale, William Throckmorton, an overseer of his will. Derbyshire seems to be the home of many of the early Eastern Shore settlers, and if not settlers, folks in the Low Country that have ties to the Caribbean. So this becomes, these properties are also heavily mentioned in my Dale research. When the commander died in the Low Country, Lieutenant Colonel John Throckmorton took his job until 1616, and his garrison minister was Thomas Potts from Harrop. Francis Potts of the Eastern Shore was from Harrop as well. There are many Irish connections between Thomas Dale and also the Eastern Shore. Dale was several times a captain there. The Sidneys were involved in Ireland. The Graves was there. Captain John Baker was commander and mayor of Derry. So there's many connections in my research that you might want to read about. And then Thomas Dale was also involved in with the Caribbean connection, or the Eastern Shore certainly was. And then the most interesting thing at the very end of this, Thomas Dale, who tied back to the Hambies, is connected as well. I would appreciate your, if you're interested in this work, go to the Virginia Historical Society or the NAB Research Center and read about this first Eastern Shore colony. It's fascinating. Thank you.